These two bears that we have here are brown bears. They're brothers. They came from Washington State University. They have a research program over there where they do quite a bit of bear research. And these two boys were born over there. Their mother was part of a research project and had, I don't remember her story. She had come from the wild and was part of their research project. These guys have been here since they were a year old. So this is their home. It's what they know. And they get pretty excited about this weekend. They wait all year because we put out such wonderful little goodies for them that they don't normally get. So we will see Kima and Denali, the two bears, come out as soon as we get finished up putting all the food together. And then you get to have a chance to see them have a little fun this afternoon. This is Kima and Denali, and they are brown bears. A brown bear and a grizzly bear are pretty much the same thing. They're a little bit different in size. So if the bear lives along the coast of British Columbia or Alaska and eats a diet primarily of salmon, they get a lot of protein and a lot of fat, and they grow to a pretty good size. And so brown bears tend to be somewhere between 500 and 800 pounds. These guys are about 900 pounds at their heaviest during the year. So since bears spend most of their time looking for food, and we have a good healthy population of black bears, sometimes they turn up in people's backyards. Because if you're searching around all day and eating plants, but you can walk into somebody's backyard and find a bowl of dog food, there's a lot of calories there. So for them, it's almost like walking into a grocery store. So if they can find, that's the only thing that really draws them into our backyards, is the availability of food. And you can see it might be food that you've left in a cooler outside if you had a picnic or were planning to have a bunch of guests over for a barbecue. It might be a garbage can. Garbage cans are the #1 thing that bears get into in neighborhoods. It's the big draw, it's the big attractant, it's the big thing they go for. In some neighborhoods they've been doing it year after year, and so it's just a part of their normal routine. And you can see how quickly that garbage can went down. It's really easy for them to get into your average style garbage can. They've already tried out the other garbage can, and it was a little tougher than the easy food, so they're going to go after the easy stuff first. And we'll see if they come back to that bear-resistant garbage can. So it's really all about calories. And if they can find a lot of calories in a garbage can, or in dog food, or in the bird seed that is hanging from the bird feeder, they'll continue to come back again and again because it's easy. And because typically they don't run into any harm when they wander through somebody's backyard. So really it's up to us to do what we can to keep that food source away from them. And they'll go back into the woods and they'll eat what's normal for a bear to eat. A bear that continues to get into the garbage despite all of your efforts, you can try one of these bear-resistant garbage cans. You need to work with your waste hauler so that they know what you're doing and that it's something they're comfortable working with. Some neighborhoods have a group dumpster as opposed to separate garbage cans, and that can be really helpful too. But keeping your garbage cans stored in your garage or in a lockable shed is real important so that they don't have access to the can whenever they want it. Now remember, he's 900 pounds. Well, so he's going to move on to something easier. So if you make it difficult for them, it can work in your favor. So now he's going to try the bird feeder. The bird feeders are just loaded with calories, so you can imagine how great that is for a bear to be able to come across the bird feeder. Oh, he's funny. Coffee grounds, yep. Remember I said they love coffee grounds? They like to roll in it and rub it all over. So if you have a bear that regularly gets into your bird feeder, and not just bird seed, think about a hummingbird feeder, all of the calories and the sugar that's in a hummingbird feeder. Really, you're going to have to make that feeder completely inaccessible, or you're going to need to take it down. See? Now we can get after that seed. That's all it took. And you're going to need to take that bird feeder down probably for about 2 years. Because you can take it down for a couple of weeks and might not see that bear, but the bear hasn't forgotten that that was a good source of food that he found in your yard where your bird feeder was. So you're going to need to either make it completely inaccessible by using a pulley system and hanging it pretty high and away from any trees, or take it down. And your option is to feed those birds over the wintertime when they really do need the extra calories and they do need the help in the feeding. Barbecues can also be another big attractant in a backyard. Even a cold barbecue to a bear smells as good as that hot barbecue with the steak on it did the night before. Bears have one of the best noses in the business. The current thought is that bears have probably the best sense of smell of any animal that we have tested or researched so far in the world. They have a larger portion of their brain dedicated to the sense of smell than any other animal that we know. So they can smell things from a long ways off, and they can smell things that have just a very slight fragrance, and anything unusual will attract them. Hairspray, perfume, toothpaste. It's important if you're going camping or backpacking to think about all your toiletries because they usually have fragrance to them and have an interesting smell. As well as your camping fuel has an interesting smell to it as well. So it's really important to think about things like even a cold barbecue. It needs to either be cleaned after you've used it, or it needs to be stored inside somewhere where it's inaccessible to the bears, in a locked garage or shed or something like that. Their top line is their rump. Black bears are tree climbers. That's their main defense. Black bears actually evolved in North America. In prehistoric times, they had to run away from saber-toothed tigers and giant short-faced bears and a prehistoric lion that occurred in North America. And so their defense was to climb a tree. So they have a lot of muscle on their backside to be able to hoist their 150 to 250 pounds up a tree. So a black bear is going to have a larger hind end, and a grizzly bear is going to have a big shoulder hump. Another thing that we use to tell the difference is the size of their ears. These grizzlies have nice, rounded, fairly small ears. If you were to compare that to a black bear, they have a longer ear and quite a bit larger ear. They've been called mule-eared at times, and there's a very distinct difference in the size of their ears. Also, in the shape of their face. These guys have kind of a dished face between their nose and their forehead. And a black bear has a very straight, kind of a Roman nose profile. And a lot of times if you're seeing a bear, you don't have a chance to pick out very many different characteristics. But the size of the ears and the shoulder hump are usually obvious enough that you can tell which species you're looking at. And certainly they have a difference in claws. Because grizzly bears are such diggers, they have nice long, 4-inch long claws. Black bears are not so much diggers. They will occasionally tear open a log, but they don't really dig in the ground for roots or tubers. So they have a shorter, very curved claw that helps them to be able to climb up trees.
Oh no, it's here. It's still okay.
No, really. I wish you got pretty big. I want to
There isn't anything.
No, there's nothing there.
They just like the talent.
Yeah, I think this place. Yeah, this place is like really open. We flew last year, you think open.
The one thing.
No, it's sort of regular down like, when we were with them. That one, it's got the pizza box. And it's sitting there all night, I guess.